Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D. All over. It's beautiful here. So we are in Heredita, Costa Rica, and welcome to the Gazillionaires Club. I don't usually give out relationship advice, but when I do, so yesterday I brought up the the fact that two of my friends are getting married, and we're heading in a couple of years. We will be reaching 40, and these are people that I hung out with when we're little. We're like boys, right? We said stupid shit. We've done some stupid shit. We're like, you know how kids are, right? Kind of like that. So I brought up the fact that one of them is going to get married this coming year, and then the other one is the coming next year. And honestly, both of them are biting the dust. Con, you're so funny. Just kidding. But the reason why I brought it up, my friend, was because oh my God. So I brought it. One of them. He was like, "Yo, you know that my mother-in-law been a vegetarian for 10 years, right?" And I was like, "Oh, why?" And then he was like, my father-in-law, he got sick, and then she was praying for him, so she committed to whoever she's committing to. I'm assuming the Buddha. That she will be a vegetarian if her husband get better. And we were kidding. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try to make it to your wedding in Vietnam, right?" And when at your wedding, we are going to test her, try to offer her meat and see what she'll say. I mean, the answer is obviously no, but I was joking, and I was like, it would be hella funny if she was like, "Wow, I've been craving for meat for 10 years now. Finally, I'm able to have some meat." But even if you have that kind of conviction, my friend, whew, that is like, I mean, conviction to to push the craving for 10 years. And I mean, for me, it was super funny, right? So that's the reason why I brought it up. The other one when with everything that is happening in our society, the reason why I put it metaphorically in that sense of biting the dust. If we live in the matrix, going to work, getting that paycheck, get vaccinated, like living by the fear that was created for us, then having a family, having a baby, you are going to raise them the same way as the next generation, meaning that whatever we go through, it just, the cycle continue. You know what I mean? And that's why I put it metaphorically, saying that, like, if if you are aware of what is going on, it's kind of hard to raise a family. It's kind of hard to even think about how am I going to raise my kids in a society where it's so backwards, upside down, and everything that is happening right now as humanity is going through the next phase of evolution, AI and stuff like that. You know, the way that I see it, like, sharing what I've learned on this journey is kind of like, wow, there's so much to work on, like myself, and considering we are heading to that 8 billion people in the world. Currently accepting 420 Dogecoin. And I'm like, huh. But nevertheless, the relationship advice that I want to share is simply, being alive, knowing that we exist is always better to be in a relationship. And when like the way that I see people today, there are so many choices, for, male and female. When there are too many choices, we tend to be confused about who we want to be with. Even with, like, if you think about online dating, right? Like Tinder, there are multiple dating sites, but how come the chances of people finding the right person is very small? And why is the divorce rate in America keep on going up? Now, if we compare back then, like marriage back then, even though there were some inequality, how men treated women, but then, when there are less choices, like people tend to stick together, and, relationships are actually meaningful. And the fact that we have so many choices, like people are confused, and with humans, right, we have sexual desires, and it's so, like, a lot of us cannot control that, and I think it takes phases, of where we are, but if we are able to control that, then we have a clear mind of who we want to be with. Nowadays, it seems like people can't even be alone, and even if they choose to be alone, it's not they choose to be alone. It's just they can't find the right person to be with, and that's really sad.
Wait, what do you mean, bro? Are you really, really confused, bro? Are you really, 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 really confusing me, bro?
And the reason why I don't believe in, like, dating sites, simply because if we cannot start a conversation with people that we meet on the street, if we can't start a conversation with, like, friend of a friend and start a relationship, it wouldn't make sense, like, someone somewhere with a profile, and, the algorithm is trying to match you up with that person, and somehow it's gonna work out. There are the chances of that happening, but for me, I'm being realistic, right? If it's not happening in my world of whoever I'm interacting with, then the chances of being on the internet is not going to change anything. It's kind of like, like when you like someone, right? Like, you don't tell them in front of their face, but when they're not there, you have all of these thoughts. One day, I really want to tell her that I love her. I want to take care of her. I want to lick her butthole. Why? You want to express yourself, right? I'm kidding about the licking butthole part.
Dumb bitch!
You nibbler. But you know what I'm saying, right? So I guess the takeaway for this video, I really don't have the answer. I have not been in a relationship for a long time. I've been working on myself. So for me to give relationship advice, it's kind of like, but am I happy with myself? Yes. Does it feel lonely at times? Yes. And do I want to be in a relationship? Yes. Does that person have to meet my standard? Yes. Am I that person that I want to meet? Yes. And those are the criteria, The other thing that I kind of noticed, like people, it depends on where you are, but Vietnam, Mexico, even here in Costa Rica, people have a pet to as a security, as a like to watch the house. People in America have pets because they're lonely. At least I think they're lonely. But isn't that ironic? The but my friend, I was going to mention another thing about the two of my friends that are getting married. I there is another joke, but I forgot. I think one of them, he was like, "Man, I've been dating her for like 3 years, and we haven't had sex." And I was like, "Wow, I fucking respect that. That is respect." But what if you get married and then during marriage or that night you're about to hit it, and then you realize that she has a penis? You crazy? Or she is some kind of freak, right? Handcuff, whip, candles, and costumes. Oh, I will leave that up to your fantasy, my friend. But let me know, what are your advice on relationships? And I really admire people that that able to have like a partner, have kids, and they take care of their kids and they treat their partner good, and it's like a happy relationship. I mean, that's having a family, having a partner, having a family. Love is part of life, and to live alone, to me that's ridiculous. But we have so much in our society. There are so many choices. People ended up being lonely. Isn't that crazy? And with this whole like depopulation, vaccination, and having kids in a society where everything is like upside down, it's kind of like, wow. So let me know, my friend. Let me know what your takes are, and I will see you in the next video. I know I love the background here. It's kind of like Merida. Beautiful. Rarely you do get a day like this. Typically in the morning in Costa Rica, and then during the rainy season, after about 3 or 4, starting to get cloudy, and it will rain. But other than that, let me know. I would love to hear your advice on relationships, or what do you think of how I view everything about relationships, because I think it's important. I think it's important for the people that are watching, and if you have something to share, we can have a conversation, because I feel like as much as I understand what Andrew Tate is doing, it's not the kind of like, okay, it's the alpha male, but it's not like a father figure, like it's like it's and yes, like when it comes to people, assets, you don't treat people like their body or sex as an asset, but like skills, like what do they have, what do they know. For me, that is the kind of asset that I'm looking for. But to treat another individual for their body, their sex, or for sex, I don't think that is a good way to to portray yourself as. And I know with I know with the algorithm on social media, for you to blow up, you have to be polarized. You got to play the dark and the light, and that's what the algorithm does, or algorithms do. Like it train you to to be that character, and and if you want to keep on building your audience, eventually you will live that character. It does, it's really weird, but I always, I love the traditional way of parenting, of what it's like to be a man, what it's like to be a woman. But I also understand that throughout history, us men, there were inequality when it comes to women, and we have to balance that out. And today, like, you know, today is almost like hard because the moment you choose to be a man, they like, you know, the feminist movement condemn you. So if we're gonna work together, you know, I'm pretty sure whether you are a male or a female, you know, life is to you know, it is to experience life, to love, to reproduce, and leave the planet better than we found it for the next generation. So that is it. Much love. I will see you in the next video. Ta-da.